What up, peoples? It's your boy Nick Johnson, your favorite sports YouTube journalist, back in here with a video. Of course, many of you know that I've been away from this channel for what feels like a very long time, like 2 months to be exact, since I did the Drew Brees video, the day that he retired. And it's been like a cool couple months since I've done a video on this channel. Excuse me. But, yeah, I know it's been a while. I really apologize. I will post a link on the description box below explaining the reason why I've taken a break on this channel. And I've been a little more active on my hip-hop channel, so if you can, go ahead and follow that. And I'll probably post a link on there as well after I finish up this video. And you'll see why I decided to take a break. So go ahead, check that out. And it's just something I got really personal with. So, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. So, but now I'm back in full effect, and let's get active. Now, I know I missed out a lot since my last video. Like I said, I'm sorry. But here I am, just trying to catch up in the swing of things. I'll probably do separate videos on different sports. Post-trade deadline, what I'm expecting second half of the season, what I'm expecting in the playoffs. MLB season's already arrived. Already finishing up the first month of the season. But more importantly, what I'm really going to talk about in today's video is tonight is the first day of the NFL draft. Now, of course, the draft will consist of 3 days, starting with tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific on ESPN, and probably Fox as well, and tomorrow on Friday, same time, and the draft will conclude on Saturday, I believe at 8 in the morning. I know it's going to be in broad daylight because that's when you finish off from the 3rd round to the 7th round, respectively. So the first 2 rounds will be today and tomorrow, with the first round being tonight and the second round tomorrow. And the rest of the rounds from the 3rd round to the 7th round will conclude on Saturday morning all the way to the afternoon. So if you're really excited and if you're waiting to see what highly touted college prospect your team is drafting, you don't want to miss out. Be sure to tune in on ESPN. It should be really, really interesting. Now, my thoughts on the draft. This is arguably the most interesting and somewhat of a deep prospect pool that we've seen in a while. And arguably the most interesting because you have like 5 of the best quarterbacks available that will no doubt be selected in the first round. A couple of wide receiver prospects as well, a couple of corners, and some running backs, especially Najee Harris at Alabama. It's a really, really interesting class, so we'll see how that goes. Because you got Trevor Lawrence, at the quarterback class, you got Trevor Lawrence leading the charge, a generational talent out of Clemson. He's going to go number 1 overall, easily. Then you got Zach Wilson out of BYU, Justin Fields out of Ohio State, Trey Lance out of North Dakota State, or North Dakota, one of the two. And you got Mac Jones out of the reigning national champion, Alabama Crimson Tide. So, a really interesting class of quarterbacks right there. If you want to go the wide receiver route, you got the duo of Jalen Waddle and Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smith out of Alabama. And you got Jamar Chase out of LSU. And, of course, the cornerback pool, you got 3 of the best ones available in Patrick Surtain II, Asante Samuel Jr., the son of arguably one of the best corners in NFL history, and J.C. Horn, And their fathers were former Pro Bowlers, all-pro players, and one of them is a future Hall of Famer, in my case. So, yeah, this is a really, really interesting class. So, I know from the first pick to the 32nd pick, it's really, really going to be interesting. So the Jacksonville Jaguars have the number 1 overall pick. They clinched that since the Jets decided to beat the Rams late in the season to help Jacksonville secure the number 1 overall spot. So they're no doubt going to get Trevor Lawrence, a generational talent, quarterback out of Clemson, hopefully a future face of the franchise that could lead them out of the dark times. We'll see where that goes. So, yeah. So, yeah, he's bound for Jacksonville anyway. Then, 2nd overall, you have the New York Jets looking for once again, another franchise quarterback, no surprise. The Sam Darnold experiment pretty much failed miserably, and they traded him away to the Carolina Panthers for a couple of draft picks. So, and they're expected to select Zach Wilson out of BYU, the second best quarterback of the draft, and arguably a top 5 selection. So, he's bound for New York. So that's pretty much another clear-cut, obvious choice if they miss out on Trevor Lawrence. And then the third pick, which is currently held by the San Francisco 49ers. Well, let me talk a little bit about that. Because the 49ers previously, after the season ended, who finished the year 6-10, just a year after they made their incredible Super Bowl run, they got the 13th overall selection. But in the offseason, this earlier, which was, I believe, like a couple weeks to a month ago, they traded away 3 first-round picks, including the 13th selection that they had, to the Miami Dolphins to get the 3rd overall selection. Now, speculation has been going on about that they're going to select arguably the remaining 3 of the best 5 quarterbacks available. Because due to the uncertainty with Jimmy Garoppolo, his injury history within the last several years since he got to San Francisco, and of course his at times inconsistent play, even after their Super Bowl, he got them to a Super Bowl. It just didn't, he just didn't feel like the type of player that can lead your team to a NFL championship. And I think they're pretty bold on this move. So with that being said, I believe his future in San Francisco is uncertain. He'll be, do I think he'll be traded? I don't think so, because there's a remote chance that he'll be in San Francisco's roster and basically still be the starting quarterback by next season, despite the fact that they got the 3rd overall pick to select his potential replacement. So, who are they going to select at the 3rd pick for the supposedly quarterback of the future? You have Justin Fields out of Ohio State, Trey Lance out of North Dakota State, and Mac Jones out of Alabama. Now, reports suggested that they were heavily lean on Justin Fields, but then it was like sometime after he revealed that he had an ellipsy. They said that their choices have come down to either Jones or Lance. And it's going to be interesting to see how they can transition to the NFL. So, the Niners, they have a full roster that's ready to compete for a title. They just need a quarterback that can get them over the hump. Not really, because maybe it's because they still don't have a cornerback available. Richard Sherman is gone, no doubt. But if you were to trade Garoppolo, they said they want a 1st-round pick in return, which I doubt is very unlikely, but you know how that is. So yeah, excuse me, I'm having a little allergy problems again, so forgive me on that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where San Francisco goes. I would not be surprised if they selected either one of the 3 that I just mentioned. So yeah, they're not messing around. They want that guy to get them over the hump, and they want to do it right now. So even though Jimmy Garoppolo may still be in San Francisco, it's kind of looking more and more bleak by the minute. So eventually he might get traded, but then again, who knows? So yeah. Now, since we're on that subject, the Niners were actually in contact with the Green Bay Packers about the availability of future Hall of Famer and one of the best quarterbacks of this league, and arguably in NFL history, in Aaron Rodgers, even though there is a 0% chance of that happening. However, this report came out that Aaron Rodgers literally wants out of Green Bay. He said he does not want to play for the Packers anymore, and he literally wants to be traded, from what I've been told. From what reports came about, and he told some of his teammates that he wants out of Green Bay. Now, from what I can gather, frustrations have been amid with the front office, because last year when the Packers were expected to target another weapon for Aaron Rodgers in his offense, they instead selected quarterback Jordan Love out of Utah at the 31st pick, and that did not sit well with Aaron Rodgers at all. from what I can tell. That did not sit well with him at all. And of course, the front office was also asking him to take a pay cut, which he refused to do so. And from what I can gather, it's been more than just a contract. So, from what I can tell, this is just a big season filled with drama, as we all know it, and it may not go away anytime soon. So, yeah, this will be interesting to see where that goes. And of course, Aaron Rodgers, this is like the available movement where he could be potentially be the first domino of a string of quarterback movement all around the league. Because remember, a couple months ago, the Detroit Lions traded and the LA Rams, the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Rams have swapped each other's quarterbacks, Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford. So that was like the first domino to fall. And then the next one of quarterback movement may be, well, Aaron Rodgers. Even Deshaun Watson. Even though the fact that he has legal troubles on his resume right now with allegations of sexual harassment and all the BS that you want to call it. Yeah, it's just basically more and more very interesting as time goes on. Hopefully he'll be cleared of all charges because I think this is just being blown out of proportion. And we don't know if the alleged victims are telling the truth or not. So, yeah. But outside of that, he'll likely be the next quarterback move because he clearly states that he wanted out of Houston because of the hiring process that led to Nick Caserio being hired from New England without him being involved and whatnot, as well as the head coaching search. He felt left out and betrayed by the organization. And plus, the way they've been run over the last several years, like I said, I wouldn't blame him if he wants out. So, yeah, he could be the next one. Seahawks still intent on keeping Russell Wilson, even with all the issues that he's voiced out. It's a lot to take in. Now, I will go on more about the draft, but at the same time, it's just some notable headlines I want to bring up with y'all to see how this goes. And, oh yeah, there's one more team I also want to bring in, and that's the New England Patriots. Now, on the first day of free agency, the New England Patriots, my team, my beloved Patriots, done something that we have never expected them to do. They went on an absolute spending spree in the first day of free agency, spending money on the likes of Matt Judon, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, and Jalen Mills, and even brought back Kyle Van Noy on a one-year deal after spending 1 year in Miami. So, and of course signing with the wide receivers Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne. You know, they went on an absolute spending spree, and they even brought back Cam Newton for 1 year. So all eyes are going to be on New England to see what they're going to do. Because despite the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo was on the market from San Francisco, they clearly stated their intent that they do not plan on any reunion of any sorts with Garoppolo anytime soon. Because Garoppolo spent the first 4 seasons, or 3.5 seasons of his career, backing up Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. He had a couple starts for them when Brady was on that 4-game suspension for Deflategate, which I think was just absolute bullshit. But, yeah, that showed how much he had potential, and he impressed in a way in San Francisco, but just hasn't been like that guy. You know what I'm saying? So, Belichick stated that he doesn't want any interested reunion with him, and instead are looking for the draft. And they've been heavily linked towards the quarterback class, as we all know it. So, and the last report that we got from them is that they could potentially move up, trade up in the draft, because the Patriots currently have the 15th overall selection in tonight's draft, especially in the first round, that they can use to probably trade up into the top 10 to get Justin Fields out of Ohio State. Now, Fields is like the third best quarterback to look after Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. So yeah, Justin Fields is like heavily on the Patriots' radar. Same thing that they had with Lamar Jackson a couple years back, but they literally passed him up twice. And he ended up going to Baltimore. But hopefully, and for my sake, I hope we do get him or any other best quarterback available in the first round, because who knows how long this is going to go on. I hate Cam Newton. I just wish we never brought him back, but then again, it's whatever. I don't trust him. He sucks. He just needs to go away. I just hope we get one of the three guys I mentioned earlier in the first round. So hopefully that comes to fruition because it's ridiculous how you want to bring back Cam Newton. I can't stand him. He sucks. I'm sorry, I had to go on a little rant right there, but that's just how I feel. But other than that, tonight's draft, the first round of the draft is going to be extremely interesting to see which player is going to go to their respective teams, and their selected picks. It's a lot of interest in there. So we'll see how that happens. First round of the NFL draft tonight, ESPN, 5 p.m. Pacific. Don't miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So with that being said, that's all I have for today. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure to hit that bell icon button where you keep up with my daily notifications and when I'm going to upload my next video. And that is all you need to know from me. So with that being said, I'm back in full effect. I ain't going nowhere. And, of course, this is Nick Johnson, your favorite sports YouTube journalist, and I'm out. Peace.